Hey, this is Ken for the Information Nation. I'm glad everybody could tune in tonight. It happens to be the 6th of April 2014. And we've got quite a jam-packed show for you tonight. But what I want to do a little something different tonight. So we're gonna record the first part of this show on video, and we're gonna post it up to our YouTube channel. So I hope everybody enjoys that. You'll be able to see what's going on here for about the first 15 minutes or so. We'll cover the first topics, and we're going to go on from there. You know, there was a shooting at Fort Hood again. Guy killed 4, and including himself, and injured I don't know how many more. But the thing that gets me is, now that this has happened, you can figure all the anti-gunners are going to come crawling out of the woodwork, and they're going to start looking at, oh my God, it's guns, it's guns, it's guns, it's guns. The guns did all the killing. This guy had nothing to do with it. That's normally the liberal vent on these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about that. And also the disappearance of Piers Morgan. Yes, Piers Morgan is done. He's not, his show is over. And he did a, what you would call a farewell thing, and he did it with his anti-gun stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to play that clip of Piers Morgan and the way he touts his liberal agenda and the way he lies about everything. And I'll tell you, we're going to play a clip afterwards by Wild Bill from Wild Bill for America. Now, Wild Bill has his own YouTube channel, and I happen to garner this from his YouTube channel. We'll play the audio for it. The people that happen to go to the YouTube channel will be able to see the actual video of it because it'll be plugged into this. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the comparison between the two of them. Piers Morgan says one thing, Wild Bill says something else. Piers Morgan lies to us. Wild Bill tells us what's really going on, tells us the truth. And this is the thing that people have to understand. People have to get it through their head that these liberal anti-gunners, they're not interested in telling you the truth. They don't want to tell you the truth. What they want to do is push their agenda so that you give up all your guns. Just like what they're doing in whatever the heck state that is over there, where they're trying to take everybody's guns and they're making it a felony if you did not register your weapons. And the people are saying, Connecticut, that's what it was. And people are telling them, hey, stuff it up your chocolate whiz-wang. We're not going to register our guns. A lot of them are doing that. And the ones that are happen to be late on registering their guns, they're not cutting them any slack. They're going to charge them with a felony anyhow. So why would you possibly go and register your guns? That's the whole thing with this gun registration. And they're blaming an inanimate object. That's like blaming a car. If a guy behind the wheel drives it into a store to kill people, they blame the car. It wasn't the guy's fault. It was the car's fault. The car did it. Or kids that misspell words. It was the pencil that made them do it. You know, it wasn't them. It was the pencil. Or, you know, that spoon that forced you to have that extra bowl of ice cream. It was a spoon. It was the spoon and the dish and the ice cream did it. It wasn't the person that did it. No personal responsibility anymore. None whatsoever. Everything that's going on right now is nothing more than, it's just goofy. It's just totally goofy. I don't know what any more to tell you than that. It has totally become ridiculous. But that's okay. A lot of the liberals out there, they love this stuff. So why don't we get right down to it, and let's play this clip by Piers Morgan. This was his farewell address, and to the end, he was a lying sack, and talked about his guns. You know, how he hates guns, how guns are everybody's fault. We have a bad deficit in this country. It's the gun's fault. You know, we have a war going on in Afghanistan. It's the gun's fault. You know, everybody ran out of chicken at Colonel Sanders. Well, guess what? It's the gun's fault. Everything is the gun's fault with him. But anyhow, let me play the clip, and then you go and you make up your own mind as to whether or not what this guy is saying suits your facts or suits his own narrative, the anti-gunner communist narrative that we've got going on in this country. So let's give this a look. So let's go to the video.
This is the final Piers Morgan Live. After 3 years, 2 months, 11 days and over 1,000 shows, I'm departing to spend more time with my cricket bat. I'd like to thank my amazing team, led with great skill and tireless enthusiasm by my friend and executive producer Jonathan Wald, and John Ferreter, my irrepressible manager, who landed me this fascinating, unpredictable, challenging, but hugely enjoyable job. We won some, we lost some, but we gave it everything we had, and I've loved every minute. Well, almost every minute. I'd also like to thank you all for watching, even those who implacably disagreed with me or just found my funny accent annoying. Regular viewers will know that the issue of gun control has been a consistent and often very controversial part of this show. And I want to say something more about that before I bow out. I've lived and worked in America for much of the past decade. It's a magnificent country, a land of true opportunity that affords anyone, even British chancellors like me, the opportunity to live the American dream. The vast majority of Americans I've met are decent, hard-working, thoroughly dependable people. As my brother, a British Army colonel, says, you'd always want an American next to you in a trench when the going gets tough. But that's where I think guns belong, on a military battlefield, in the hands of highly trained men and women fighting for democracy and freedom, not in the hands of civilians. The scourge of gun violence is a disease that now infects every aspect of American life. Each day, on average, 35 people in this country are murdered with guns, another 50 kill themselves with guns, and 200 more are shot but survive. That's 100,000 people a year hit by gunfire in America. Now, I assume that after 70 people were shot in a movie theatre, and then just a few months later, 21st graders were murdered with an assault rifle in an elementary school, that the absurd gun laws in this country would change, but nothing has happened. The gun lobby in America, led by the NRA, has bullied this nation's politicians into cowardly supine silence, even when 20 young children are blown away in their classrooms. This is a shameful situation that frankly has made me very angry. So angry, in fact, that some people have criticised me for being too loud, opinionated, even rude when I've debated the issue of guns. But I make no apologies for that. As Sir Winston Churchill said, if you have an important point to make, don't try and be subtle or clever. Use a pile driver. Hit the point once, then come back and hit it again. Then hit it a third time. A tremendous whack. My point is simple. More guns doesn't mean less crime, as the NRA repeatedly tries to tell you. It means more gun violence, more death, and more profits for the gun manufacturers. And to those who claim my gun control campaigning has been anti-American, well, the reverse is true. I'm so pro-American, I want more of you to stay alive. But I've made my point. I've given it a tremendous whack. Now it's down to you. It is your country. These are your gun laws. And the senseless slaughter will only end when enough Americans stand together and cry, enough. I look forward to that day. I also look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you, and God bless America. Oh, and while I'm at it, God bless Great Britain too. Good night.
Well, there you have it. There you go, Piers. Hey, I'm glad you're leaving just to go and enjoy yourself with your cricket bat. And I truly do hope that you find something other to do than to sit around and whack off, because we're getting sick and tired of you. And it shows the American people are not as dumb as they are. Your ratings plummeted down to the point where you weren't drawing, a whole heck of a lot of people. I mean, for crying out loud, a guy standing on the corner draws a bigger crowd than you do. You just happen to draw flies. So, hey, best to you, Piers. Go back to Great Britain. Enjoy your life. And don't turn around and tell me how much you love the American people, because you hate our way of life. If it had not been for the American people, guess what? We would all be British. We would all be speaking the King's English instead of American. We would all be under the control of the Crown like you people are over there without your guns. And you would be standing around going, isn't it wonderful how great things are here in the colonies. Hey, shove your colonies right up your chocolate whiz-wang. Now, let me tell you something else, man. Your numbers are off. The guns are not the problem. Really, guns are not the problem. Apparently, the problem happens to be Democrats. And what we're going to do now is we're going to play you a clip from Wild Bill for America. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll get some education. I think that this is something that maybe Piers Morgan should have understood. Piers should understand where everybody's coming from. Piers should understand that being an American does not mean that, well, we have to get rid of these guns. These guns are killing people. No, you moron. They're not killing people. People are killing people. But anyhow, before I digress to the point of losing my total control of my common sense, let us listen to Wild Bill for America, and I think you're going to find something extremely interesting in what Wild Bill has to say. So let's go to the clip.
As America's leading liberalologist, I am working to cure liberalism in our lifetime. Truth is the best medicine when it comes to liberalism. It is the chemo that kills the liberal cancer. Well, here is today's healing medicine from Harold Hofick. When it comes to murder, the USA ranks third in the world. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Makes us sound like a horrible country, doesn't it? Makes Americans sound like horrible people, doesn't it? And to those who are common sense challenged, also known as liberals, that makes them think that they have to do something about those awful guns. But when you remove Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., and New Orleans from the list, the USA drops from number 3 in murders way down to 4th from the bottom of the list. Gee, what do those cities have in common? Well, they've all been run by Democrats for decades. No Republicans, no Tea Party. Those cities have the strictest, most unconstitutional gun control laws in America. The evidence is crystal clear what that does to the murder rate. But liberals don't care. They demand the same laws be forced on all Americans in every city. Liberals are not just common sense challenged, they are morally and ethically deficient as well. They know what they have done to those cities, but they don't care. Well, here's a Wild Bill bullet of truth for America. If the white liberals in California were murdered at the rate black Americans are, the Democrats/liberals would be screaming bloody murder in every media outlet. So why are they silent when their policies are causing the violent deaths of tens of thousands of black Americans? Are they doing it intentionally? Is it possible that liberal Democrats have created their murder cities to carry on their old KKK activities? After all, the Democrats started the KKK and have always opposed policies that would genuinely help blacks in America. Whether the murder cities are intentional or not, I think it's pretty clear that the KKK would be extremely proud of today's Democrat Party. They are accomplishing what the KKK wanted to do until white conservative Christian Americans stomped the KKK into obscurity. This is Wild Bill for America saying, think about it. Thank you for watching, and America bless God again.
Okay, there you have it. Just what Wild Bill told you. 3 cities. Yep. 3 cities. We'll use the other hand. What the hell can I tell you? 3 cities. Chicago, Washington, D.C., Detroit, and New Orleans. You take them out of the mix and look what happens. We go from number 3 in the world all the way to 4th from the bottom. Why? And he's absolutely right about another thing. It's the majority of blacks that are being killed in this country. And, the blacks continually put these people in office. And I'm sorry, but you've got to wake up to the situation, wake up to the fact that these people want you dead. They want you out of the way. They're the ones that believe in white America, not the Republicans, not the conservatives, not the Tea Party people, but they love to throw around that word racist. Oh, the Tea Party's a bunch of racists. I've been to Tea Party rallies, and I'll tell you something. I see whites. I see blacks. I see Hispanics. I see Asians. I see a true mix of the American culture. You know what I don't really see there? Democrats. They don't show up. A lot of, I won't say Democrats, I'll say liberals, extreme liberals do not show up to Tea Party rallies. But the people that show up all have one thing in common. They all love this country. And they're tired. They're tired of what's being done to this country. We have been lied to constantly. I mean, you look at Piers Morgan, and the narrative that he pushed is an extreme liberal narrative. That's what it is. It's a liberal narrative. Let's get rid of all the guns because the guns kill people. Then you get a guy like Wild Bill. And I've played clips from Wild Bill on the show before. Wild Bill does nothing more than give you facts. You know, so you can listen, you can continue to listen to the liberals and their narrative. Or you can listen to conservatives and their facts. And the facts are that the liberals want to destroy this country. You know, they can tell you all they want. Oh, I love America. No, you don't. No, you really don't. Because if you did, you would understand a little thing, an extremely little thing called the Constitution of the United States. That's pocket Constitution. Matter of fact, when I go to rallies, I hand them out. And if they ever came up to me like they did to one individual down in Arlington, Texas, and told him if he continued, they'd be arresting him, then all I could tell them is, there they are, baby. Throw the cuffs on, let's go. Because you're not going to stop me from handing out. And I hand out free constitutions. My wife does too. And the reason we hand them out is because the more people that have the Constitution in their hands, the more they're going to start to understand what in the hell is going on. And that's what they don't want. They don't want you informing the people. They don't want the people informed about what their Constitution actually says. They want to give you this narrative that, well, you're really too stupid to understand what's going on. Listen to Harry Reid. Just go and listen to what Harry Reid had to say when he was talking about the Koch brothers and all the rest of this. Now, the other day on the 5, they were talking about the Koch brothers and how they've donated $3.5 million, to all of these, and they're unpatriotic. And this, George Soros has donated over $35 million, and they're worried about the Koch brothers. George Soros is a liberal. George Soros hates this country. Go back and just look it up. Look up George Soros. The same thing. Any of my listeners out there who happen to be black, and if you think that Wild Bill was lying about the KKK, really research it, and you'll find out that the Democrats are the ones that started it. Yes, indeedy. They are the ones that started the KKK because they hate black Americans. You look at Margaret Sanger and this piece of garbage that we have out there called Planned Parenthood, which was started by Margaret Sanger. What was Margaret Sanger's whole agenda? Kill off the blacks. Get rid of the black babies. Kill the blacks. This is supposed to be the party that's supposed to be for the average person. That's supposed to be for the average guy. And the Republicans are, and the Tea Party, they're for the rich. Well, let me tell you something. There are more rich people involved with the Democrats than there are with the Republicans. There are more rich people involved with the Democrats than there are with the Tea Party. What you have here is you have the minority group, which is the Tea Party and the Republicans, fighting for the life of this country, while the Democrats are fighting to destroy it. They want to turn it into a dictatorship. I did a show a number of years ago. Some of you, my normal listeners, will remember, on when they wanted to overthrow this government and they wanted to put in fascism, corporate fascism, and it was stopped by Smedley Butler. Look it up. Look it up. And you'll find out what's been going on in this country for a long damn time. And you want to know something? It's continuing to go on. And the only way we're going to stop it is to get these people out of office. Harry Reid should be gone. Nancy Pelosi, gone. Dick Durbin, gone. John Boehner, gone. And Boehner's a Republican. So I don't want people putting down in my comments below on the YouTube channel that, you're just for Republicans. No, I'm not just for Republicans. I'm for Americans. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm an American. I want my country to survive, and that's where everything lies, in the survival of this country. We have got to survive. For crying out loud. Even Putin said what's going on now is turning this into a communist country. Think about that. Think about where... And that man should know. He used to be the head of the KGB. Now he's the head of the Russian government. And he is a pure communist. And people that don't think so, I got a bridge to sell you. It's in the middle of the Saudi Arabian desert. We have to start getting together. What scares them more than guns, than the Koch brothers, than anybody else, what scares them more is the American people uniting and throwing them out, getting rid of them, putting true Americans in there who will go by the rule of law. You know, blacks have said it for the longest time, and the white Americans just kind of ignored it because it wasn't happening to them, which was the fact that they were being arrested and they were being charged with stuff and they were getting stiffer sentences than a white guy who did the same damn thing. Guess what, white America? Let me wake you up a little bit. Let me explain it to you, Lucy. They're doing the same thing to you now. They're doing the exact same thing to you. The blacks were an experiment. Now they're going to do it to the whites and the Hispanics, and they've been doing it to the Hispanics also. You know, all of this BS running around out there, and I'm not touting Fox News or anybody else, but all this BS that's going on out there, you know, about the immigration. Oh, how are you going to deport these people? Why don't you talk to a Hispanic or anybody who's come to this country legally, as my grandparents did, as other people's parents and grandparents did, who stood in line, who waited, who got their paperwork in order, who waited maybe years before they could immigrate to this country because of the fact that they wanted to do things that were not allowed in their country, like homeschool their children, like start a business. They had no opportunity. This is the land of opportunity. Talk to those people and see if they want to turn around and just give the guys who just pushed their way through the line to the front of the line, crossed the border illegally, and we should give them, you know, what do they call it, undocumented alien status or a temporary pathway to citizenship. Yeah, here's your pathway to citizenship. Go back home and file the papers and get in line. You know, it's like if you went to the show, how long do you think it would last if you had a long line? Let's say a Blockbuster came out, and man, that line goes from the ticket office all the way down around the corner, and people are just waiting to get in. And I come strolling up, and I just walk to the front of the line, push my way in there, and go, yeah, give me 2 tickets, please. How long do you think that's going to last? How long do you think it's going to be before somebody gets really upset? Well, that's what these people have done. They have insulted the people who have stood in line and waited. They have insulted those people. It's not that we don't want people here. I'm pro-immigration. I'll tell you something. Somebody wants to come to this country because they think their country's a piece of crap, then you come to this country. You come to this country, but do it legally. That's all I ask. All I ask is that you follow our laws. Don't turn around and be one of these scumbags who just turns around and pushes your way across the border and expects us to do everything for you. But if you're a hardworking person and you want to come to this country, you want to learn how to become an American citizen, you want to learn the language, you want to work here, and you want to make a better life for yourself and your children and your grandchildren, I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. None. But if you want to jump across the border, climb the fence, jump across the border, and some turd in Washington's going to allow you to come in because, well, you're here anyhow and there's nothing we can do about it. No, man, go back home. Just pack your stuff and go back home. And when you finally do things the right way, I'll welcome you with open arms. Hey, this is Ken for the Information Nation. This is going to be the end of my YouTube video. If you want to catch the whole show, you can catch me every Sunday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central Time on the Information Nation. Go to theinformationnation.com. We only broadcast on Sunday nights. We have a show lineup. There's myself. Well, actually, there's David Zublik with America Talks. Then we play a little bit of music, and then after that, I come on, and then after that, we have John MacArthur. So tune in. But this is going to be the end of the video portion of it. Any of you people that have been listening to the show want to see this, it'll be posted by tomorrow on YouTube, so you'll be able to just jump right on there and watch the show. So for you people that have watched this on YouTube, I want to thank you very much. Leave comments below. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. My listeners will appreciate it. God bless America. We're going to continue with the show now, but the video is going to stop. Thank you very much for tuning in, those of you on YouTube.